Okay, this is Chrisferb, and I'm going to go over how to calculate quartiles and the median. And I have two data sets, one that's even, one that's odd. First I'll go over the data set with the odd data. If you do this by what I would call the textbook method, use this formula, which is P for percentile, N for the number of data points, and 100 is just part of the formula. So if you're looking for the first quartile, you put 25 in, which represents a quarter for first quartile. So you put this in, you end up with 2.75, but you're actually finding the location, so the first quartile won't be 2.75. You have to round it up to 3. And if you round it up to 3, you get the 15th. The data that's at the third position is 15. So your answer for the first quartile is 15. If you go and do the same thing with the third quartile, you put 75 in, divided by 100, multiply by 11, you get 8.25, but you have to round up, you never round down. And you end up with 43, which is the value that is at the 9th place. And then for the median, remember this is odd, there's 11 numbers. It's the number 6 for the median. So with the median, you end up with 5 numbers on either side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, while this works out okay doing the calculations, the easiest way to do it is you calculate the median first. So if we looked at this, you'd say, okay, there's 11 numbers, so the median is going to be an even number, and you have 40. Once you split the data set with the median, now you go and you have two groups of data. You have 5 on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 on this side. So now we know that if we have 5 on each side, then we're once again splitting the group because we're in quartiles. So if we split the group, we would put our first quartile right here, because we'd have 2 numbers on each side of our first quartile. The same thing with the third quartile. We just have 2 numbers on each side, and that would be the 9th place. So that would be 15, 40, 43. So the big thing here to remember is this. If you come across a data set and you need to calculate the quartiles and the median, first do the median. If the median is even, meaning there's a number there, there's an odd amount of numbers, and the median is just one of the numbers that's there, we can pick the center number. Then the other two, the first and the third quartile, will be able just to pick a number. It'll be an even number. When you calculate it, it kind of leads you astray because you have to round up. So when the median is an even number, meaning we can just pick one, we don't have to pick this center 2 numbers and divide it, then the first and the third quartile will be a straight integer position, and we just pick them, the third and the 9th in this case. So let's move on to an even data set. So with an even data set, we have 12 numbers in this one. I just added a 1 to the top. With the 12 data set, it's a little bit more tricky. So with that same idea, if we pick the median, we actually have to go and average the middle 2 numbers, because there's an even data set in the middle number, there's no perfect middle. So we average out 39 and 40. 39 plus 40 divided by 2, we get 39.5. Well, per this idea, if the median has to be averaged, you have to average the other 2. So this number's not an even number, we need to go and we need to average out the other 2 then. So in this case we do this with position 3 and 4. we get 11. And then for the third quartile, we do the same thing for position 9 and 10. And we get 42.5. So as you see, what we do is, if the median determines what we're going to do with the first and the third quartile. Looking at these together, on this page we can see that with an even set of numbers, we have to go and average out on each one. Even set because we don't have even numbers a separate number to pick. For the median, we have to average the middle two. For the first quartile, we have to average the center two of the first quartile. And for the third quartile, we have to average out the 9th and 10th position for 43. Where when it's an odd set of numbers, we can pick the middle one. And once we pick the middle one for the median, we know that we're going to have an even number to pick for the first quartile and an even number to pick for the third quartile. So when there's not a lot of numbers, we can kind of do this on a piece of paper. When there's a lot of numbers, the formula may help more. But the formula in general, I'm not sure it's as useful as just knowing once you do the median determines how we're going to pick our first and our third quartiles. And that's it.